When the flyer dropped on Instagram, it barely took 5 minutes for fans to lose their minds. One simple black background. 2 names in bold white letters. No opening act. No long list of artists. Just Snoop Dogg x Eminem. One night only. Live in Detroit. The rap community erupted. Nobody saw it coming. For years, fans believed the relationship between the two legends was strained. Quiet distance, subtle interviews, and cryptic lyrics had led to rumors of tension. But here, they were, announcing a joint show in Eminem's hometown, without warning. No interviews, no explanation, just pure anticipation. Tickets sold out in under 90 seconds. Social media flooded with theories. What are they planning? Is there a diss turning into a collab? Are we about to witness history? Comment sections became battlegrounds of speculation and excitement. The location made it even more electric. The Fillmore, Detroit. Not a stadium. Not an arena. A legendary, intimate venue. Less than 3,000 people would be able to attend. It wasn't about size, it was about story. People began flying in from all over the country. Some even camped out near the venue 3 days in advance, hoping for a miracle or an extra wristband. Merch booths popped up. Old D12 and Death Row Records tees returned. It felt like a reunion, but with an edge of mystery. The night before, the concert, a blurry video surfaced online. It showed Eminem and Snoop in a rehearsal space. They were laughing, hugging, practicing verses. Looks like they squashed everything, one fan commented. Another replied, or maybe it's just for show. Media outlets scrambled to get statements, but neither artist responded. Their silence only fueled the hype. No leaks, no spoilers, just vibes. Let them speak on the stage, fans said. In a rare moment, hip-hop wasn't divided. Everyone, East Coast, West Coast, Gen Z, boom bap heads, wanted to see this. Legends. Together. On stage. For real. Maybe for the last time. And, when the night finally came, fans filled the theater with reverence. No opening act, no DJ set, just 2 mics on the stage and an entire culture holding its breath. Then the lights went dark. The crowd roared as a single spotlight hit the stage. Eminem walked out first, hood up, face focused. The crowd erupted. Seconds later, Snoop Dogg emerged. From the opposite side, slow, smooth, in a long blue coat. The volume doubled. Cheers turned to screams. Phones were up. Eyes were locked in. For the first 30 seconds, they just stood there, facing each other, nodding. No words, no music, just mutual respect. Then, like thunder, the beat to Forgot About Dre dropped. The audience lost it. Snoop jumped in with Dre's verse, and M followed flawlessly. The crowd knew every line. The energy was electric. Every bar felt heavier, every line more meaningful. These weren't just rappers performing old hits. They were reclaiming their story, rewriting the narrative. The moment felt alive, urgent, raw, and honest. After the first track, the music faded. The crowd waited. Snoop grabbed the mic. "Before we go any further," he said, "me and this man got some real sorrow to talk about." He looked at Eminem. "You ready?" M nodded. "Let's do it." For the next 15 minutes, they didn't rap. They spoke. Openly, candidly, about past misunderstandings, about pride, about silence that lasted too long. Snoop admitted he felt M wasn't respecting West Coast legends at one point. Eminem acknowledged that he sometimes isolates instead of communicating. "I thought you didn't fuck with me," M said. The crowd hushed. Snoop shook his head. "Nah, I was just waiting for you to reach out." They both laughed, lightly but with weight. "We too old for beef," Snoop added, "especially over egos." They talked about Dre, how he was the thread that connected them. "He built us both," Snoop said, "and we almost let that go to waste." They spoke of what Dre meant to them, not just as a producer, but as a father figure who gave them purpose. The crowd listened like they were in church. No one moved, no one shouted, just silence and respect. Then Eminem said, "Let's stop talking, let's rap about it." And the beat to a brand new song dropped. The new track was a masterclass. Each verse alternated between Snoop and Eminem, like a conversation in rhyme. They rapped about their come-ups, about missteps, about watching each other from a distance, with respect and confusion. Snoop opened the song. From Long Beach to 8 Mile, we built empires. Thought silence was peace, but that's barbed wire. M followed. Heard the dog barkin', thought it was aimed at me. But it was a mirror, and I didn't want to see. Each line carried years of tension, now transformed into poetry. There was no anger, just reflection, a reckoning with fame, time, and missed chances to connect. The audience stood motionless, many with tears in their eyes. These were more than verses. They were confessions, delivered live, raw, unfiltered. As the song faded, the two legends embraced, long, real, unforced. Then they smiled. For the first time that night, it wasn't about the past, it was about the present, the healing, the bridge that had just been rebuilt before thousands of witnesses. The internet couldn't keep up. The reunion performance trended worldwide before the concert even ended. Clips flooded TikTok and Twitter. Snoop and Em, your real hip-hop, rap heels were everywhere. People weren't just excited, they were emotional. A generation had just witnessed its heroes grow up in real time. Backstage, things were calm. The energy that had filled the room had now turned into hugs, laughs, and real conversations. Snoop and Eminem sat in worn-out leather chairs, sipping water, still in awe of what just happened. That felt different, Snoop said. Like it mattered. Eminem nodded. It did. Dr. Dre called mid-celebration. On speakerphone, he said, "Told y'all this would hit. You two together? That's legacy." They laughed. "Next time, you joining us," Snoop said. "Only if I can bring the piano," Dre replied. Later that night, Eminem posted a simple photo. Him and Snoop in front of the crowd, arms raised. The caption read, "We talked, we healed, we rapped. Respect is forever." It got over 10 million likes in one day. Snoop followed with a tweet. "Sometimes grown men gotta talk it out. That's real G stuff. Love you, Slim." Fans couldn't stop reposting. Artists joined in. Kendrick, Nas, Ice Cube, even Jay-Z. "What y'all did tonight? That's grown man rap," Jay tweeted. Carrying that momentum, the duo appeared on LeBron James's talk show, The Shop. For the first time, they broke down what really happened behind the scenes, the misunderstandings, the pride, the silence, and finally the breakthrough. "There wasn't a beef," Snoop explained. "There was a void, and when people don't fill that with conversation, they fill it with assumptions." Eminem added, "The media loves tension. But what we did was harder. We sat down and listened." The episode went viral, not for drama, but for wisdom. Teenagers, parents, and OG hip-hop heads all found something in it. "I watched it with my son," one fan commented. "He finally understood that real strength isn't just about bars, it's about growth." And the best part? Snoop and Eminem weren't done. "We just getting started," Snoop said at the end of the interview. "We got something cooking." In the weeks that followed the reunion concert, both rappers visited each other's hometowns. Eminem in Long Beach, Snoop in Detroit. It was more than symbolic. It was cultural. Two kings paying tribute to the roots that made them. When Snoop landed in Detroit, Eminem took him on a tour of 8 Mile. They stopped at the old trailer park where M once lived, then visited the high school he dropped out of. "This place taught me how to survive," he said. "I see why you so raw with it," Snoop responded. Later, they stopped at a youth center where Eminem had donated equipment years ago. The kids there didn't believe it when Snoop walked in. One of them ran up and yelled, "Yo! Uncle Snoop in the D? What?" The next day, Eminem flew to Long Beach. Snoop brought him to the VIP record sign, where so many West Coast legends had gathered. "This right here," he said, "it's where I learned to spit." They walked through the block like two local legends coming home. They even dropped a surprise freestyle at a community event in Compton, surrounded by kids, food trucks, and DJs. It wasn't for money or promotion. It was for culture. "This the cipher they ain't ready for," Snoop laughed. Eminem replied, "Let's give 'em bars and blessings." Together, they recorded interviews for a Netflix documentary that was now in production. Titled Legends: The Reunion. The film aimed to capture more than a performance. It aimed to show how music could repair old wounds. They visited each other's families. Snoop had dinner with Haley, Eminem's daughter. Em met Snoop's grandkids. "It's crazy," Emmy said. "We not just rap heads anymore. We uncles, fathers, mentors." Fans online were shocked by how natural their bond had become. "This ain't staged," someone tweeted. "This is real." People shared videos of their interactions, showing how humor, humility, and history could reshape the future. And behind every laugh, every handshake, every verse, they knew they were building something that extended beyond music. 3 months after the concert, Snoop posted a black and white teaser video. It showed an old cassette tape labeled Doggy X Shady. The tape was placed into a dusty boombox, and as it clicked into place, the screen faded to black. A date appeared. Friday, midnight. Fans went wild. Within minutes, Eminem posted a matching image, the same tape, but from a different angle, showing the words Volume 1. The captions were identical. "We not done. Let's talk through the music." The album announcement broke streaming pre-save records. No features were revealed, no track list, just the vibe. Fans speculated like crazy. Would there be Dre production? Guest appearances from 50 Cent, Kendrick, or Nate Dogg samples? The day the album dropped, the world stopped. The first track, Peace Offering, opened with audio from the Detroit concert. Then the beat hit, melodic, heavy, nostalgic. It was a love letter to hip-hop, brotherhood, and personal evolution. Each song took listeners through their journeys. Tracks like Glass Walls, Unsaid, and West Side Redemption blended Snoop's mellow, smooth flow with M's rapid, emotional punchlines. It wasn't battle rap. It was memory rap. Midway through the album, a song called Fatherhood shocked fans. Both artists rapped about raising kids, generational trauma, and what they wished they could have said to their younger selves. Critics called it the most vulnerable track of either rapper's career. The closing song, Legends Bleed Too, ended with both saying the same line, "Don't wait too long to pick up the phone." A message to each other, and to everyone listening. The album went platinum in 2 weeks. But more importantly, it became a case study in growth, grace, and how rap could evolve without losing its edge. The reaction to the Doggy X Shady album was unlike anything in recent memory. Critics from Rolling Stone to Complex hailed it as a mature masterpiece, not because it broke sonic boundaries, but because it broke emotional ones. "This isn't just music," one journalist wrote. "It's healing in rhyme form." Younger rappers began referencing the album in their work. J. Cole posted, "This is the blueprint for manhood in hip-hop." Tyler, the creator, tweeted, "Snoop and M showing us it's okay to grow, to say my bad. That's beautiful." The ripple effect was immediate. Podcasts, college classes, even TED Talks began discussing the impact. "They redefined legacy," one cultural critic said. "Instead of clinging to their past, they chose to rewrite it together. That takes strength." Others noted how rare it was to see ego replaced with empathy at such a public level. In barbershops and Twitter spaces, fans debated their favorite verses, but the real power was in how it made people feel. One comment stood out. "I played this for my pops. We hadn't talked in years. After track 6, he called me." The music was opening more than playlists. It was opening hearts. Schools used lyrics from fatherhood in literature classes. Community centers held listening sessions followed by discussion groups. Mental health advocates praised the transparency. "It's not therapy," one therapist said, "but it's therapeutic." The duo appeared on NPR's Tiny Desk concert series, performing stripped-down versions of their new tracks with a live band. No lights, no effects, just words and rhythm. Snoop lit incense. Eminem wore headphones and closed his eyes during his verse. It was raw, and fans felt every word. And then came the real surprise. Eminem joined Snoop on Martha and Snoop's potluck dinner party. The two cooked, laughed, and even performed a skit where they played each other. "You can't write this kind of evolution," Martha Stewart joked. "But you sure can serve it hot." The culture didn't just observe the reunion, it absorbed it. Artists began reaching out to former collaborators. Old beefs faded. Rap wasn't losing its edge. It was gaining depth. And in the background, Snoop and Em watched quietly, knowing they'd created more than an album. They'd created a movement. Months after the album's success, the duo started something unexpected. They launched a mentorship program called Mic to Mind. It offered free music production workshops to underserved youth, focusing not only on beats and bars, but on mental health and emotional expression through lyrics. The first workshop was held in Compton. Snoop walked in wearing a hoodie with "Humble over Hype" on the back. Eminem arrived quietly, nodded to the kids, and simply said, "Y'all ready to build?" For the next 6 hours, they listened, coached, and let young artists take the spotlight. A 15-year-old girl named Nyla shared a verse about growing up with a mom in rehab. The room went still. When she finished, Snoop wiped his eyes. "That's courage," he said. Eminem added, "That's hip-hop. You just told your truth." Nyla would later perform at a festival sponsored by the program. Mic to Mind expanded to 6 cities in 6 months. Each location included licensed therapists, safe spaces, and studio gear donated by both rappers. "We're not trying to save anybody," Snoop said. "We're just showing them the door we walked through." Meanwhile, Carla, the mother of a child on the spectrum who found confidence through music, wrote a letter to Snoop and Em. "Your reunion inspired my son to pick up a pen," she wrote. "Now he writes rhymes instead of hiding in silence." That letter was read aloud at the closing ceremony of a mentorship session in Detroit. Eminem shared that he too had begun therapy after their reunion. "I needed to face things I'd been dodging for years," he said in a magazine feature. "Talking to Snoop made me realize how much I was holding in." Fans related deeply. "If Marshall can do it, maybe I can too," one tweet read. A second album wasn't immediately announced, but both hinted at more work together. "We ain't said it all yet," Snoop told a crowd at Coachella. "Not even close." M, performing later that night, ended his set by saying, "The dog's still in the lab." The reunion was no longer about nostalgia. It was about evolution, about giving back, about showing a new model for masculinity in music. Vulnerable, accountable, and collaborative. And for once, the applause wasn't just for lyrics. It was for growth. Years passed. The buzz quieted, as it always does. But the impact lingered. Doggy X Shady was taught in university courses on hip-hop history. Mic to Mind became a national nonprofit. And Snoop and Eminem remained close, often seen supporting each other at events, shows, and behind the scenes. When Snoop received a Lifetime Achievement Award at the BET Awards, Eminem was the one who introduced him. "They call him Uncle Snoop," he said. "But to me, he's the big brother I didn't know I needed." Snoop hugged him and whispered, "That goes both ways." Eminem later received an honorary doctorate in music. During his speech, he thanked his daughter, Dr. Dre, and Snoop, for showing me that sometimes your realest rhyme is an apology. The crowd stood and cheered. Their story became legend. Not because of the hits, but because of the healing. Two men who could have stayed distant chose instead to walk toward each other. In doing so, they taught an entire culture something deeper than bars. Snoop eventually released a memoir titled Unfiltered. In it, he dedicated a full chapter to Eminem, simply titled Marshall. He wrote, "Some beefs end with violence. Ours ended with verses. And I wouldn't change that chapter for nothing." Fans still share their reunion concert online. "This saved me," one comment reads. "I was angry with my brother. We didn't talk for years. After this, I called him." Art imitating life, and then life imitating healing. They were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in the same year. Their final joint performance of Legends Bleed 2 was met with tears, lighters, and standing ovations. "This is what legacy looks like," the presenter said. "Not just lasting, but evolving." As the curtain fell, Eminem turned to Snoop. "Ain't bad for two dudes who used to beef, huh?" Snoop grinned. "Nah, it's perfect. And we just getting started." Their reunion wasn't the end of an era. It was the start of a new one. One where legends don't fade, they transform.